Yeah.
All right. I'm about to say something.
I'm
right?
pretty sure
Don't report me. Don't report me to any security organization about what I'm saying. All right.
Okay,
I need you to follow up with what I'm saying.
Okay. I'm just gonna write a note here. Okay, I have some paper and pencil. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
Okay, this is really. I'm about to say something that's very strongly opinion. All right.
All right. I'm gonna write down what you're gonna say. I mean, I'm not going to write down what you say.
Okay, are you ready?
Sure.
Airplane disasters are good. Okay. Okay, hold on. Follow my train of thought before. Alright, hold on. I want to let the audience know airplane disasters are actually bad. They're a tragedy when they happen. But I am only saying that they're good only from a technical standpoint in terms of evolution for the industry, alright?
Okay, so I'm not gonna disagree with you on that because a lot of the time whenever something happens, they're like, "Oh, so this is what went wrong. Okay, let's do that. Let's fix it."
Because here's the thing, right?
It doesn't happen.
Because we as human beings are very limited in what we can master and overcome. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I want to say that we have probably conquered the sky. Okay. I mean the ground. The ground. We kind of got a good scope of the ground. We have a good scope of the ocean. We're not all the way there yet. We got
no scope on the ocean. What do you
mean? Wait. We know where the Titanic is. All right. That's good enough for me. All right.
You realize that a lot of the oceans is unexplored, right?
Oh, hold on. But do we know where the Titanic is? That's all that matters, okay?
No, look. Okay, so I'm gonna let you in on the secret, okay? The Titanic crash site is a myth, okay?
It's a myth.
It's just like the moon landing.
Exist.
It's just like the moon landing.
James Cameron faked it.
Yeah, James Cameron faked it. It's just like the moon landing.
Was that not Leonardo DiCaprio? Did Leonardo not die that night?
No, so you know how like people think that people think that Stanley Kubrick filmed the moon landing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with James Cameron, but with Titanic.
Oh, he filmed the Titanic?
Yeah, he faked the Titanic. That's what happened, okay?
Jesus fucking. All right. So back to my original point.
Yeah, okay.
Back to my original point about airplane disaster. All right. So like I was saying, so we conquer the ground. We have a good scope of the waters. Like we know how to get a boat from point A to point B. All right. All right. We got that basics. All right. We had ships. We now have motorboats. We have yachts. Sailing and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But for planes, right? I feel like planes are like the only one that has to continuously evolve in the industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? From a car's perspective, I feel like at this point in history of society, like we have a good basic concept of what a car needs to do. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Like the only thing we can improve on cars from here on out is just like efficiency, and that's it. Like there's nothing really much more for cars to do until we get to like hover based futuristic sci-fi bullshit. From like a realistic standpoint, cars are pretty much set in stone with what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the same thing can be said for boats, you know. Right, but boats are pretty much good. Like, all right. Hey, is it buoyant? Is it buoyancy? All right, that's all that matters, right? Mm-hmm. We're good with boats. But for planes, it's like the only one that has to continuously evolve. So I listened to a podcast where they talk about plane disasters. I learned so much. I found out
talking about Black Box Down.
Oh, hold on, hey! Don't mention other names of other podcasts.
Oh, should we not? Should we not?
That's not. What?
It's not a bad thing, right?
We could. No, it's not. But anyway, so I listened to the back one where they talk about planes, and I find it so very interesting about how much the airplane society industry has to continuously evolve after every airplane design. Like how like it was like up until like the 8. Like it was like a podcast I was listening to a few weeks ago about luggage on board. Like so, it was like a disaster where like this organization, like this terrorist, I believe, they put like a bomb on a plane, but the person did not have to be on the plane with his luggage. And then after that event, the industry completely changed where, hey, if you're not on the plane, your luggage doesn't get on the plane, right?
Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, I remember
just like
that.
very interesting
How wild.
How the airplane industry continuously like with a car disaster, right? Like once a car, you pretty much figure out and then you can pretty much figure out what happens, and then there's not really much to evolve from there on. on out, right? Just be like, oh, right? But with an airplane disaster, right? You have to completely reevaluate the situation and, like, figure out, okay, how can we not have this happen ever again?
Yeah.
Right? With a boat, it's like, okay, we should probably, I was like, there's not much you can do with a boat, you know, right? Or a car, but with a plane, you just have to continuously evolve, and I find that unironically acts very interesting with airplane disaster, and how much they have to continuously just keep going.
Yeah, they just continuously evolve and, you know, relook over things. They're like, okay, let's see what.
Like even like a single thing that happens, like you completely, like everything. I won't say you start from zero, right? But you pretty much go all the way back, and you have to start building from the ground up again to fix it, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's like the same thing that happened post 9/11. How, like, after 9/11, like, hey, we should probably start putting air marshals on planes now, or hey, maybe we should, no more liquids on plane. That's a bad thing. Let's not do that. Let's not have that anymore, right? Right? Like, it's just very fascinating when I listen to Black Box now, because I actually, after listening to Black Box, I actually started looking up other airplane disasters. Oh, hey, government agency listening to these. Hey, don't put me on any list. I'm just researching, all right? Just researching about airplane disaster, all right?
I'm pretty sure you, among the millions of other people, are not a priority for the government, all right?
Okay. Oh, hey. That's what I said about every other disaster, all right? Before it happened, William.
Okay, sure, all right. I was just trying to make it seem like you seem not a bad thing.
Hold on. No, that actually puts me in a bad perspective. Hold on. I just realized that.
Oh my god. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, so, okay. Well, where were we, actually?
No. Basically, what I'm trying to say, there's an infinite number of ways for the airplane to evolve after a disaster.
I hate this so much.
Hey, we're talking about infinite.
Yeah.
The movie starting everyone's favorite American racist, Marky Mark.
Jesus.
It's really oddly convenient we're talking about Mark Wahlberg after recording those Power Rangers video where we talk about Mark Wahlberg and his racist past.
Yeah, I know. It's also kind of ironic that he's been reincarnated into other races. And
I was gonna talk about that at the end. He reincarnated into an Asian person.
Yeah.
It would have been more badly tasting if he reincarnated into a Vietnamese person. Right?
God.
That would have been way more fun.
That would have been horrible.
Hilarious. Right? He reincarnated to a Vietnamese person at the end.
Yeah, oh my god. I mean, honestly, anything is just like, with him, is like, especially after we were talking about it, I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of bad, isn't it? But, I mean, I guess,
and look, don't worry, remember, in one of these infinite realities, possibly, there's one where Mark Wahlberg doesn't racially assaulted a Vietnamese man, alright?
Okay. That's good to know, I guess, but we're not living in that reality. We live in a
reality where everyone Marky Mark racially attacks Asian people.
Oh, my God.
Hey, look, it's Asian American Pacific Islander month, alright? And we gotta spread the word.
Wait, what? What? Huh? Wait, what is this? I don't know if I don't know if that was a bit or a serious thing. Because all I know, I could be missing a holiday. I have no idea. I have no idea of knowing this.
Hey, look, it's Pride Month, all right? And just look, don't hate, okay?
Sure, okay. Well, I mean, I guess as per usual, before I get into we get into anything else with the movie. I'll read to you the plot synopsis as provided to us by the movie's Wikipedia article. I should really start writing a line down so I can have that said and not have it I had to start saying random bullshit. Anyway, personal notes, please. I'll just do that later. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not really gonna do it. Anyway,
yeah.
I'm gonna read it right now. So, in 1985, Mexico City. Real quick aside, by the way. Does not look like 1985, right?
Yeah. Did not realize. I literally thought this was modern day Mexico City.
Yeah, I did
or like a modernization.
Yeah, it feels like it, right? It feels like it would have been that would have been 2020 Mexico City, and then what we got in this one is sometime in the future ahead of 2021. You know?
Yeah.
Because of all
didn't like this guy was literally driving us like a high-end sports car, right?
Yeah, and then it's just like I mean I don't know cars like that, so I mean but it was high end, it was real sleek and it looked real good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like for a car like that, I would assume like it's kind of like now, but with this fucking God, it doesn't look like 1985. I don't understand what.
Yeah, but like the only argument you would now that rewatching the scene, you do see like those old shitty cars, right? That people try to justify are cool. Right?
Yeah. Because they're like old.
But like that, it's like if you just ignore the car, this city looks just like modern day.
Yeah,
right?
that's the
and
thing.
Even then, they could just be modern cars in that city for all I know.
Yeah, and so like I mean I like especially with like later on in the movie when they have all that wacky high tech bullshit which doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Yeah, it's a thing. But anyway, Anyway, in 1985 Mexico City, Heinrich Treadway tries to escape the authorities and a man, Bathurst. Bathurst? It was Bathurst, right? It doesn't matter. He and his associates, Abel and Leona, speak about the egg, which Treadway stole from Bathurst. So, Treadway tells Abel that if he does not survive, the latter must remember to look inside. He drives off a bridge, jumping from his car in midair and onto another bridge 150 feet away. He didn't jump into another bridge. He jumped into a crane. Where are you getting a bridge from? However, Treadway watches helplessly as Bathurst arrives and kills Abel and Leona. In 2020, Evan Macaulay suffers from schizophrenia. Because of past institutionalization and violent behavior, he cannot get a job. Needing meds, he forges a katana for a local gangster, even though he has never trained as a bladesmith. After the deal goes south, Evan makes his escape but is later arrested. A man at the police station introduces himself as Bathurst. He starts to refer to Evan as Treadway and claims they have known each other for centuries. When Bathurst gets Evan to remember things about his past life, a car slams into the room. Evan's rescuer is Nora Brightman, who takes Evan to the group she is part of. There are about 500 individuals in the world who can remember all their past lives, known as the Infinites. Two opposing factions developed among the Infinites: the Believers and the Nihilists. The Believers, such as Nora, think remembrance is a gift bestowed to them by a higher power to make the world better. Nihilists, like Bathurst, consider it a curse. They think the Infinites are condemned to witness humanity self-destruct. They want to be free of this and exterminate all life on Earth. That was another aside that was never made apparent, that they think they were there to witness human destruction, but whatever. So, both factions believe that Evan is Treadway's reincarnation. Hidden in his memory of his past life is the location of the egg, the device that was created to end the world. The Believers must retrieve his memory and secure the egg before Bathurst gets Evan and tortures the information out of him. As Nora, Leona's reincarnation, explains to Evan, the Infinites start to remember things when they are young. By puberty, they have recalled everything. This is why Evan was diagnosed schizophrenic. Evan struggles to regain Treadway's memories. However, after a session inside Artisan's machine, Evan unlocks his memories. Treadway was killed by the previous Bathurst not long after Abel and Leona. The Believers retrieved his body and took it back to the hub, where it is kept in a chamber. Evan recalls that he slashed open his belly and put the egg inside. Bathurst used to be a comrade of Treadway. They spent centuries fighting beside each other. However, Bathurst became disillusioned with the Believers' mission and began attempting to end the reincarnation. The egg was the product of that search. When activated, it would attack the DNA of living beings and destroy life. The device with the egg inside it flies out of a plane. Wow, we're just really jumping a lot in this plot synopsis too.
That's a big gap.
Yeah, there's a lot of gaps here. But Evan jumps after it and Bathurst follows. The two fight in midair, and Evan manages to stop the counter by pulling out the egg. He shoots Bathurst with a dethroner, which ensures that Bathurst will not be reborn. Evan drowns in the ocean with the egg. Meanwhile, Nora and the Artisan destroys the chips, freeing the souls of the Believers Bathurst trapped. Nora and Abel are reborn and they meet in the beginning. Again, it doesn't seem like they're going to explain that either. Evan is reborn in Jakarta, Indonesia. Artisan visits him and Evan recognizes him, and I guess that's the end of the plot synopsis. Wow. Yeah. This is
Hey, wait, was this movie confusing?
I mean, I got it. I got the gist of it. What did you find?
I was really confused until this Wikipedia article explaining the plot.
Oh, I mean, whoever wrote the synopsis, very confused. Very, very fucking confused.
Look, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people confused about this movie, alright?
Yeah. Oh, God, this movie is a bit of a trip. It moves, it does not slow down sometimes, you know? It just kind of keeps on going and going. Like, holy shit, like, it's just like...
I was watching this movie and I got lost at points. Because I was like, Because I didn't understand what was going on at certain points. 'Cause, dude, how fucking much random bullshit was going on.
Uh-huh. I mean, yeah, it's just like they're jumping around. They're like not really looking to do anything with like the concept, I think. I mean, well, aside from that. I mean, I guess if anything, we should talk about how this movie doesn't give you time to think about anything. It just kind of moves along in its own pace. Like it doesn't let you it doesn't slow down to make you consider like, oh, reincarnation, what's the big deal with that? Why, like they don't bother really explaining stuff like, oh, why did the nihilists want to kill kill the world or whatever, or why egg, why is egg doing thing, you know? It's just like how does it, like, it's like this egg just is able to destroy all life, this one little bitty egg, and I'm like, but how though? How the fuck can this thing do all of this, right?
Oh, wait. You don't believe in the power of the MacGuffin device?
God, the MacGuffin...
You don't believe the MacGuffin will save the Earth?
God, it's annoying, too. I'm like, why is it called the egg? It's the stupidest thing. I don't know why you call it the egg. But yeah, what?
Oh, no, keep going.
No, it's okay. Keep
going. No, keep going. I need to pull up a shit post, alright?
Look, I don't understand. Like, of all MacGuffins I've ever seen, the worst thing you could probably call it is a fucking egg. And it looks like a literal egg. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It also doesn't make sense, like, why it needs a fucking bomb to kind of, like, activate it, too. Because, like, the fact is, like, they did this whole thing where they were, like, in the, because, so, a thing they didn't explain in the synopsis was that, like, fucking Evan, he's, after they find him and take him away from the police, right, they fly him over to what they call the hub, where they basically, it's basically where all the believers, their faction, that's where they settle and everything, right? And in that, they had this wacky machine where they just fucking have a hologram that just shows off, like, oh yeah, this is how the world will end, with this egg in the middle of the air, destroying all life as we know, where everyone gets Thanos, right? Which is essentially what it looks like. And, so you see it, but then it's just like, it's, okay, so like, because the egg apparently can do this thing on its own, and they know this, but then it's just like, why do you need the bomb? Why didn't you just activate it wherever, right? Because here's the thing too. At some point, Bathurst does get the egg, right? Yeah. So I'm like, why doesn't Bathurst just activate it from where he is, and then it'll just be too late for anybody to stop it? Like, why does he do that? Like, what's the point? Also, another thing is just like, why didn't, like, I mean, because the thing is, they haven't stated otherwise, but like, I felt like Treadway's character, like, in the life that they showed when he's in Mexico City, why didn't he just take the egg and just destroy it, right? Instead of just like, I mean, it's just, I know it seems like he was like being chased and everything, right? And he's being like shot at. Like, it seems to suggest that he very recently.
Yeah, it was an intense scene.
Like, yeah, it was like in the opening scene. He recently got this egg, right? So I'm like, why didn't you just like blow up a car?
Destroy it earlier?
Yeah, destroy it earlier, right? Like, or blow up the car.
Destroy it as soon as he got it. I'm pretty sure if it's an egg, you can just throw it on the ground and it'll break, alright?
I mean, I don't know.
That's how you break eggs, alright?
No, yeah.
You need to break them.
No. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you on that, but I'm like saying, if that's the case, why didn't he do it?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, I felt like all this move didn't need to happen if he just, fucking destroyed it when he could. I mean, and the thing is, I'm saying this because, like, they never bother saying, oh yes, like, they never gave the question, like, oh, well, why didn't Treadway destroy the egg earlier? It's like, and then they say, oh yeah, it's made of something impossibly, we can't destroy it with modern technology, because Bathurst scientists were just that good. And like, then I would be like, yeah, okay, fine, sure, whatever. But they don't bother explaining it, so I'm left with this question. I'm like, but why though? Because they don't explain a lot in this movie. They just kind of move at their own breakneck pace without bothering to tell you anything, and you kind of have to infer these things. They
built like this really big, important world for them, right?
Yeah, I mean, these are people that live presumably from the beginning of time, because they're endlessly reincarnating, and so like. I'm kind of curious as to like, well, how did they work? Why did they do the things that they do, and why did certain beliefs happen? Maybe like, could there be other factions that be like, yeah, we don't think so, because like, modern thought would come in, wouldn't that kind of change like the way other people would kind of view reincarnation? Like it can't just be the believers and the nihilists. There are several philosophies that kind of popped up. So like, why didn't that influence their thinking or whatever? So I don't know. It's a whole lot of stuff. Like also with reincarnation, like you can also kind of like, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? You can kind of like, there are questions that you want to ask about reincarnation, right? Like how, like they for them is like, oh yeah, we just get reincarnated, we just kind of basically live again, right? And so like, I mean, you could always explore topics on different ideas of reincarnation, like what's the word I'm looking for? Because fuck, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, yeah. Sorry, I'm having trouble trying to come up with the words in my head. Like with reincarnation, like you could basically say, oh well, what are some of the really good things that people did with reincarnation? What were some of the really bad things of reincarnation? Like what happens if, like, I don't know, maybe a guy was like reincarnated into a really bad lifestyle or something like that. I don't know, something like that. Some random bullshit. All I'm saying is like any of the interesting stuff that you could ask with reincarnation, they don't bother asking at all, right? And it's kind of like there's also I don't know. It's a whole lot of random stuff that you kind of just expect you to kind of believe in and just like accept and just like, oh yeah, well this is just a thing. Just accept it and move on, right? That kind of thing. And they also don't even bother exploring like what the nihilist deal is, right? Or at least Bathurst, right? Because Bathurst is like the main enemy guy, and so it's just like I'm kind of curious as to why they don't have it. So, like, they don't really explore any of his motivation. He just kind of, except for the maybe.
Yeah, I really hope they explore more of his and Evan's relationship, right? Because it made it like these characters have been locked in like this eternal struggle since the beginning of time or some shit.
Yeah, because because from the way they kind of interact very briefly. Also, that's another thing I had to talk. But after that, because the thing is. They basically make it so that like Bathurst knew Treadway for like a long time, and so it's just like these guys have been fighting together since like who knows how long, right? They've been like probably been together since the beginning. When they got to
Yeah, I was hoping to see more of their relationship in Seattle, right? 'Cause the problem is they keep talking about like, oh boy, the nihilist believer, right? But we just have to go on face value of that, right? I was hoping to see more of them, like what was the turning point? What happened, right?
Yeah, why did he turn?
We technically only have one side that's explained to us throughout the time. We're like, how can I trust this one side that's telling me the story, right? Like, where's that second? I kind of need a second opinion on this, right? Because they keep saying the believer is the one that keeps explaining to us. I was like, all right, believers, you're gonna show us these facts.
Yeah,
I mean, we're already reincarnated. We already have weird flashback sequence in this movie. Can I get some flashback sequence of your eternal struggle or some shit, right?
Yeah.
Right.
There's also like the fact that with the nihilists, like you kind of like, I want to know why they want to destroy all the world. Because it's a very curious thing, right? Because like, okay, so this also
that's pretty extreme too. That's you just don't subtly want to commit genocide, all right? That's an extreme turning point to go to, right? Like there's a difference between like, hey, let's go rob that bank. You know, let's go take down the Pope and everything, right? Like you just don't go from taking down the Pope or destroying a monarchy to genocide. What's up? This is my presentation to the group. Genocide. Here's the PowerPoint. Here's the PowerPoint and everything. I'm gonna go through the slide. I'm very passionate about the subject matter.
Yeah.
Genocide.
Also, I also don't think
there's balloons and everything. I have the balloons spelled out genocide on the side.
Jesus fuck.
Here's a nice little banner as well I made. The year is 1209. Don't know how we have balloons or banners at this point in time, or PowerPoints in general. Here's some drawings of genocide, of why I think genocide is a good idea. Right? But it's an extreme idea, right? For this group to be like, oh boy.
I also don't think they know what a nihilist is. That's the thing, too. Because here's the thing. Basically, if you're a nihilist, you basically think your life is meaningless, everything is kind of pointless, right? So, like, I don't think it's the kind of like viewpoint where you would think, oh, destroy all life. Honestly, it's more like, oh, I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I want and do whatever the fuck I want, right? Just cause as much chaos, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So first of all, the nihilist not living up to the name. Okay. Also, the nihilist kind of what's also interesting is like again, you remember when I was talking about the philosophy thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, what, I'm trying to remember when nihilism is a recent thing. It's like 1800s. That's like when it's kind of when nihilism became a thing. Nietzsche is he's very popular with nihilism, right? He was a very big proponent of it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I'm actually well aware of the subject.
Yeah. Because, you know,
to the point where I don't have to open up the Wikipedia page for nihilism and scroll down to find the name of the person you're talking about.
Don't worry about it. No, but yeah.
Yes.
But I think he was also during the 18th century.
Cultural critic.
Do you really not know Nietzsche?
Hey, shut the fuck up.
Do you really not know Nietzsche or Nietzsche? I mean, it depends
I know everything I need to know about Nietzsche. All right.
Okay.
All right.
You know the guy who's like God is dead. And, you know all.
I know what you're talking about. Wait, that's the stupid. Wait, shut the fuck up. Commit to the fucking bit.
No, what do you mean? This is me.
The bit in these fucking is that whenever we talk about a subject, I go to the Wikipedia page and read their fucking Wikipedia page to myself out loud, while you just comment and ignore about it.
No, okay, no. How am I gonna comment and ignore? Commenting is not ignoring the subject, Austin. Damn it. But like for real though, like the
Yeah, no, I actually know what you're talking about.
No, but yeah, that's like a recent thing. So I'm like. So they apparently allow philosophy to kind of affect their viewpoints, right? So, what about that? Are there other such philosophers? Like, I'm trying to remember what other philosophers there were. Good God, what other philosophers were there? What other philosophies? I mean, there's
Plato, Confucius, those type of people.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's. I think Aristotle did a lot of philosophy.
Right. Like yeah. So you basically like at what point? So are you saying did they invent nihilists or did nihilists invent them? Right?
Yeah, that kind of thing. There's also like here's the thing. Again on the
was Nietzsche was Nietzsche
was Nietzsche
infinite?
Fucking infinite?
Was Nietzsche infinite? Where's that story coming out?
Good God, you know what? We'll find out. But here's also the thing, right, Austin? But the thing is. Like, in terms of, like, there probably are infinites who think, oh, well, if I'm going to keep reincarnating, well, life is ultimately meaningless because it's just like, oh, well, I keep on living and living and living no matter how much I die, right? So I might as well do whatever the fuck I want. And so, so, like, they don't bother taking an exploration on the idea of, like, well... What if there was like infinites that were just utterly reckless, right? Who didn't give a shit, who just constantly just killed themselves or fucking basically became the worst dregs of society because of it because they don't give a shit, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And no matter how many times you kill them, they're just gonna keep coming back and doing the same fucking thing, right? So you wonder like, oh well, if that like it's kind of like you could also kind of explore the concept of immovable object and unstoppable force, you know?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I also don't think like I also think that like the way the viewpoints like for the infinites should have been chaos and order rather than meaning or whatever, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just like, you know, why not that? You know, they could have explored a whole lot of other interesting shit like that, you know, but they don't bother doing that. Aside from what I wish they talked about in the movie, or what I wish they would explore, what they did talk about, or what they did do, was kind of like the most, what do you call it? The most bullshit thing, I think is what I would say. Because, God, I don't know. Because there was like, there's this whole thing with Treadway, where basically, oh yeah, Treadway kind of pushed the limits of of human ability to the supernatural or whatever, right? That kind of thing. So, like, I am curious as to, like, how Why is he the only one who did this? How are there not other people who explored the uppermost limits of human ability? You know, considering the fact that like these people like can do they can do so much. I'm like, why haven't they advanced society in such a way that they could just do like whatever, right?
Yeah, it's just they've been around this long.
Yeah, they've been around this long, and then you get like this whole thing where like, well, why didn't they do more? I mean, I know they're in this kind of pitched battle with the nihilists and whatnot, right? But like, I felt like with all the wacky tech that we see in there, they could do a lot more, like on the side or something, right? There has to be people that are like not involved. Like the artisan was kind of like a brief thing. Like he seems uninvolved and he seems like very much his own deal. But like, I'm just like wondering like, well, what about other people? What like if we had a concept of people that are infinites, you could very theoretically have like, you know, what if one of them just like use like, hey man, God is just like, God keeps bringing me back alive, man. I am your eternal God King. See how that goes, or something like that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm complaining about like aspects that they just don't bother exploring. But anything. I know I'm saying a lot. Do you have any issues with the movie aside from what I was just complaining about?
Yeah. So what was I got really lost in this. I legitimately, unironically, actually got lost watching this movie to the point where this just became a generic sci-fi action movie.
Oh god,
for me,
so much
that was just on the back, even though I was legitimately watching this. But I didn't. But I reached the point where I didn't really want to go back and rewatch segments to re-understand the movie, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, this movie has a good premise of, hey, reincarnation, a select group of reincarnation, they found each other, formed their stupid secret little society and some shit, but turns out within a society that they live in, people might have different opinions, and now this secret society is in their own eternal war while the rest of the world has to go on, that's a pretty good concept, right?
Right, yeah.
Right? It's right, like in this concept of two secret society, one that might want the apple of MacGuffin, while the other one, I want to say, want a temple over the other organization.
God damn it! God damn you! I'm so fucking mad. The thing is, it's the closest thing. Here's the thing, Austin. Unironically, I felt like that would have fit better, right? Because their philosophies could have worked a lot better with this movie.
Yeah. Right? This movie trying to be super high sci-fi concept. I was like, alright, cool. Right? But I feel like they didn't deliver on the reincarnation theme. I feel like this movie should have used the reincarnation theme more as a plot explaining device, even though that's really bad for a story, right? But it would have given us a better understanding. The movie built itself on this mystery, right? And then thought the movie, I don't know, like sprinkle in different flashback sequence or some different past reincarnation sequence that builds up, that gives you that fills in the puzzle, right? So at the end of the movie, you get a full high concept of what the story's trying to tell, right?
Yeah.
Right, I feel like that's what this movie should have done, like I said. So yeah, but I kind of really got lost like halfway throughout the movie when it got really weird.
You know what also,
and everything.
You know what also annoyed me though? It's just like we have a whole bunch of characters who apparently known each other for like God knows how long, for centuries, millennia, right? And their interactions and how they treat each other just doesn't feel like as tight knit or as, you know, complicated as it should be. They're just kind of like, we got like these two other characters, right? Like I don't remember her name or the other guy's name. You know, the big dude and the martial artist lady, right?
Yeah, like there's a bunch of random side characters.
Yeah,
that just start this movie.
Yeah, there are a few side characters who feel like they should have a lot more to them, but they're just like cardboard like stand-ins or something. Like the people who get like the most, and I put this in heavy quotation, depth, right? Would be like Nora and Evan, right? And Bathurst, I guess.
Yeah.
But because they have that, right? They're there, and they don't have a lot to them, honestly. Because the thing is, Nora and Evan, they like, even though like they're not romantically involved. There's no real romance in this movie aside from like the fact that Nora is kind of like, oh, I wish I had my actual soulmate. Also, another concept that could have been wonderfully explored is the fact that like these like, okay, please, real quick, like Nora and I think it was Abel, right? But like Nora and Abel, they apparently like met each other, fell in love, reincarnated, and they always meet again at the same place. And the place where they called the beginning was where they first met, right? Real quick, just because that the Wikipedia does not tell you that they met in like fucking like whatever the fuck it is, right? So they constantly always meet there. They meet up, and then basically it's like they basically continue their relationship, and I guess fall in love again or whatever, right? So I'm like, that's an interesting concept to kind of explore also when it comes to reincarnation. Like, oh, well, is a soulmate a thing? And, like, or how do you explore, like, how does a millennia long relationship look like? Considering the fact that you constantly reincarnate. And, like, you live a different life, but you always somehow meet back up. And then how does that work out for you, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah, like, fuck, there was a movie that did this shit. I can't remember. What was the movie where they had fucking two characters that were reincarnation that kept meeting up at different points? I think there was a movie that did this shit. I can't remember that fucking movie.
Oh, wait. Okay, so I don't think it's the one that you're thinking of, but I did just like remember Hitchcock. I think it was the movie.
It's somewhere similar to, but it's the exact same thing. Like basically we have all these reincarnation character, right? But the problem is like who keeps reincarnating, and they all apparently know each other, right? And it's really, really explained that we all just happened to meet up at a live at these points in time, right? I would like to better, right, if these characters have like some weird special bond to each other or some shit to explain everything, because it's really weird how these characters, right? Because technically it doesn't really make sense for them to fight each other if you consider the fact that they all reincarnate to like different races of people, right? At any point in Earth, so it's right. And then you got people like, oh boy, how are we gonna who is the new avatar? How are we gonna find our new reincarnated friend, right?
Yeah.
Right, like it's kind of really weird how these characters fight each other if you think about it, right? Because there's like no way for these characters to technically know each other. Like look, if you were to die right now, right, and get reincarnated, right? I'm not gonna find you. I don't fucking know that, right?
No, yeah, but that's
just gonna I'm not gonna deal with that shit. I'm gonna be like, damn, William's dead.
That's also.
Let's see what his house has for me.
Sure, you're not getting my house, but but that's also the thing where They do have this thing about like, oh yeah, that's the hub, right? There's also another thing like, so how do you set up the system where everybody kind of finds each other and comes back to the base, where they all come in and join back together, right? So how do you do that? Because fucking, you get all these reincarnated people, right? They all come together. They form society. They're like, oh yeah, I reincarnated plenty of times. Yeah, me too. You too? Yeah, me too. Okay, so how would we form a society so that we can come back over here every time we reincarnate, right? That kind of thing. And so like, how would a system like that even be set up? How would it even remain secret? How would it even function? That kind of thing. And so again, it's another interesting thing they could have explored, but they just don't bother, right?
Yeah.
There's another thing. Yeah, again is on the characters. Like, again, these characters have presumably been fighting alongside each other for millennia, right? And so we don't get much in terms of real character or chemistry between them, right?
Yeah. So I understand that Evans fucking doesn't really shit, but like the other characters, they don't act like they know each other. It's like they just met each other for like the first like, hey yo, what's up, right? They don't act like these are characters that have been together since the beginning of time. And they formed their own, like I said, their stupid little secret society with each other, right? It's just like these characters, they don't feel like characters that known each other for a long time, right? It makes sense for Evan, because he just came like, oh boy, what's all this weird spooky shit going on? But the other characters are just like, hey yo, what's up?
It would have also been interesting, because here's the thing, right? Because again, it's just presumably with reincarnation, it seems like they keep the same personality over and over again when they get their memories back, right? But it's like it would have been interesting to see if like maybe we got something where Nora or like maybe the other two cut the two cardboard stand-ins, right? They if you know if Evan did something and or if like or maybe like if Evan's like, oh, I could use a coffee or something, and they prepare it exactly like he likes it or something like that, you know, something simple like that to show like, they know
something
him.
to establish character relationships, right? Or like maybe one of the characters have like some stupid little quirk, right?
It's
like some weird off comment or some shit,
yeah,
right?
like you could like have him do a quirk. Like he's like, oh, I like my coffee. He's like, oh yeah, you like it with like maybe 2 or 3 sugars like this and like maybe a little honey or whatever the fuck,
yeah,
right?
or like so do some shit like they play like a stupid little game. You always do this move.
Yeah,
X,
like
shit, right?
Because
but,
again,
like these characters' relations are really fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're weird in the sense that there is no relationship between any of them. They just kind of just stand there like, oh yeah, you know, we know each other. Yeah, that's how it is.
And that's it.
Yeah, and it's fucking ridiculous. Oh god, it's just it's such a waste of like potential character wise in what you could potentially explore. There's also I mean aside from that, it's kind of bland, you know, the movie. It's really fucking like it stays like typically a movie will have its highs and lows, right? So like a roller coaster, right? But it's like you know where we reach the climax. Oh god, something amazing is happening, and then you know the thing happens, and then we start to go down the hill. You know, we calm down and shit. There is no sense of rising action or falling action in this movie or climax really, even though there was a climax. Like watch the scene like, oh yeah, that's the climax. But I'm like, I don't feel excited for the movie. I don't feel like I don't feel any tensions raised for it. I don't feel like things starting to calm down. Like I see things calming down. I see that the movie recognizes that there's in the story beats that is calming down, right? But I feel nothing for this movie. It's just so fucking boring and bland. I'm surprised. Like it is like straight like just the middle for me where I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm just watching this. Okay, sure. Yeah. It is fucking surprising how boring this movie is, despite how much like I mean even the action's kind of whatever, blah, right? God, what was that fucking weird scene? There's only one thing I remember that was like really fucking weird that stands out to me in the movie. If you remember at somewhere around the end when Bathurst and Evan are fighting, right? And then they do this weird what do you call it? This weird 360 shot with Evan when Bathurst has the dethroner, and then he's trying to kill Evan, right? And then Evan, you know, it does this weird 360 and you know, he shoots at him and he's just cutting all the fucking bullets or whatever. It's just the weirdest fucking shot. And I had no idea what was going on until they decided to slow down. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? That's like the only time I'm like, I can remember feeling something for this movie. And it was utter confusion and bafflement. It's just fucking weird. You remember that one, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's just like around like, it was like around, hold on, if I can get a timestamp on this. It's around an hour 29 and maybe 56, 57 seconds. Right?
Yeah.
Do you see it?
Yeah. It's really fucking weird. Some weird fucking stupid anime shot, basically.
Yeah, I know. And this is like the one time they do something.
The movie never established this weird film style, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like throw it in. It's like how with The Matrix, how they have how they always have characters, because they establish these characters fucking doing slow motions. We see Trinity do the slow motion. We see Neo does the bullet dodge. So it makes sense for these characters in universe to do it. But for fucking this scene to happen for no fucking reason, right? It's really fucking weird.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, also, we've had slow motion before, but it was not to this extent where it's just fucking odd. Like, I don't get it. Yeah. It's just like,
so where it becomes anime.
Yeah. Also, the throner makes no sense. You ever think on that? Just the throner. It's just like he shoots a bullet and then he downloads your soul into a microchip. How the fuck does that work?
Yeah.
How? It's like Chappie all over again, except it's a lot worse. You know, it's just like I like to think maybe he watched Chappie and then he's just like, I'll just take the microchips from the PlayStation 4.
Do you think in one of his past life he was Chappie?
Oh my god, I wouldn't doubt it. thought he was Chappie. Oh my god, that's how I came up with the idea. He reincarnated into a robot. Then he reincarnates back into a human. And he's like, oh yeah, this is how it works. I guess. Oh god, it's so dumb. I don't understand how you shoot a bullet into a fucking guy's head and download it into a fucking microchip. It's the stupidest shit. There's no explanation for it. We just have to accept it as it is. I'm like, how? Also, the fact that souls can be digitized is fucking wild.
That's a big, wild sci-fi concept for a person to us. You're already dealing with all this fucking bullshit within the world, and then you just say souls can be digitally, you can be transferred to digital media. I was like, that's pretty high sci-fi right there. I don't think you're at this level yet for that shit with this movie. We're already dealing with reincarnation, but now we have to be like, oh boy, hey, check it out. So your soul's in this microchip. You could buy it on this microchip. You could play it on the Sony PlayStation Portable.
Like
how in Chappie, the movie was based, the entire economy was built on PS4. And remember how in Chappie, the entire economy was built on PS4?
I
forgot about that.
I did not know this. You have to tell me about this right now. I honestly
don't know. Chappie, how they built Chappie using PS4 or some shit?
Oh, yeah, no, I think I remember something like that. Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah.
Their digital infrastructure in Chappie was based on the processing power of the PS4.
Yeah, God, it wasn't even one. It was like 18 or something. I have no idea how many
had a bunch of PS4. That was their digital infrastructure for some reason.
Do you think the wall of like microchips, soul microchips, were just were just hard drives from the PS4? That's what they were in the wall.
Does it? I mean, there definitely wasn't hard drives of PS5. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh my god. Also, Mark Wahlberg's performance, he's just very phoning it in on this too. It's
really weird. Also, here's the thing about, did you thought he was John Cena at certain points in the movie?
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. He gives off that vibe. I think it's the haircut and the way he just he's constantly just
was really literally at scenes I wasn't paying attention. I thought it was actually John Cena in this movie at certain points, playing like a different incarnation of Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I understand.
His haircut is very John Cena-like.
Yeah, and I think it's also the way he was carrying himself and the way his face looked was also.
Yeah, it didn't look like he doesn't have the Marky Mark hate Vietnamese people face in this movie.
Jesus fuck. But yeah, Mark Wahlberg just constantly looks angry, and I think that was the only emotion that he even bothered.
I mean, hey, he was angry when he assaulted that Vietnamese man.
Oh my god. And here, he gets to assault all kinds of races, because he gets to reincarnate into every single one of them.
Jesus fucking... Hey, here's one thing I'm glad this movie didn't do.
What?
At the end when they show his reincarnation, right? It wasn't Mark Wahlberg's face digitally CG onto this Asian character.
Oh my god.
like in Cloud Atlas or Ghost in the Shell. I almost thought... At a certain point, they actually did do that, so I had to double check the frames with the movie. Okay, no, it's not. It's just an actor that vaguely looks like an young Asian Mark Wahlberg for some reason.
Oh my god, that would have been so horrible if they CGI'd him.
If they CGI Mark Wahlberg's face into this Asian character.
Oh my god, it would have been so terrible. Oh my god.
Well, that would have been terrible, but that would have been amazing.
Oh my god, it's almost as bad as I think it's actually worse than the Scarlett Johansson thing with Ghost in the Shell, actually.
Oh, yeah, because that would have been
That would have been way worse, yeah, but good god. Yeah, I also kind of wish that it wasn't just for a movie on reincarnation and stuff. And also, it's based on a kind of Buddhist mysticism, right, kind of thing. Because they do say it too, and then it's very alluded much at the end too. I'm kind of surprised at the fact that the cast was mostly white. I mean, there's maybe one Asian actress, right? I think it was only the one.
The girl. The girl.
Yeah, the cardboard cutout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cardboard cutout number 2. Yeah, and then no one else was you can reincarnate into infinite races, and then this is mostly white. We're mostly white here. I don't know. I just felt like I was a little annoyed, especially after the fact that when you get Mark Wahlberg's character, when he dies, he reincarnates into an Asian man, right? And then it's just this is off-putting to me. I don't know why. I think it's just because it's Mark Wahlberg. Oh god, I don't know. It would have been nice to have a much more diverse diverse cast, considering the fact that they reincarnate to everybody else. Like, good lord.
I mean, hold on, we saw their past reincarnation when they were minorities, so I guess that was good enough for the studio.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, I mean,
hey, your past reincarnation was a minority. That fills our quota enough. We only have to hire this. We don't have to pay this actor a full salary for 10 seconds of footage. Marky Mark says all the money goes to him. He says, "Don't pay minorities, pay me instead."
Jesus.
Marky Mark said he would rather see a school burn before a Vietnamese man gets a dime.
Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, fuck. Oh,
hey, stay tuned for Power Design of Fury, where we talk more about Mark Wahlberg.
Oh yeah, I forgot. God damn.
Alright, that's it. That's already this video.
God, fuck.
Alright, that's it. Corner versus Little Thing. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Cake takes. Bye.